Hi, my name is Kaitlyn Tracy-King, and I'm a part of USD's DNAP program. My presentation is going to be on effective communication in leadership. So I just wanted to start this presentation by having everyone take a moment and reflect on the best leader that they've ever worked with and what made them stand out. There are probably many characteristics that come to mind, but I'm sure how they communicated with their team was at the top of that list. So today, as future leaders, I wanted to make a presentation that focused on effective communication. And the topics I'm going to touch on are why communication is so important and some key principles for effective communication. So why is communication crucial for leaders? It has been observed that leaders spend 70 to 90% of their time interacting with groups and teams. So this means that we as future leaders will be needing to do a lot of communication via telephone, emails, meetings, all those sorts of kind of things. And it's essential that we have good communication skills so we can build trust and we can clearly define organization visions in a way that is both inspiring and empowering for our employers. So this slide here is just talking about some of the benefits that comes from having effective communication from leadership, and it includes reduces work-related conflicts, it increases performance and productivity, it increases employee engagement and job satisfaction, builds loyalty and trust, reduces employee turnover rates, and unifies teams around a shared purpose. So this slide here just shows the benefits of effective workplace communication for business leaders. And you can see that 64% of business leaders state that effective communication has had a positive impact on their customers in terms of timely support. And then 64% greater clarity, and 54% say that it leads to personalized support. Having effective communication skills is at the heart of great leadership, and some key attributes of a successful communicator include active listening, clarity, transparency, feedback, and open dialogue. So I'm going to continue to describe these 4 key principles on these next couple of slides. So the first key principle that I'm going to talk about is active listening. I just put a quote here that says, "The biggest communication problem is we do not listen to understand, we listen to reply." So I thought that was a good quote for this section here. And the starting place for effective communication is active listening. So this skill involves making a conscious effort to both hear and understand what someone else is saying. It involves not just hearing what someone is saying, but also interpreting their nonverbal cues or tone of the person who is speaking. Some might say that you're listening with all your senses. This slide here is talking about the techniques of active listening. The first one is you want to be fully present in the conversation. This means make sure you're eye level, eliminate any barriers if possible, such as a desk, and you want to maintain positive body language. So this means don't cross your arms. If you can see in this picture, it shows, is he listening? And blah, blah, blah. You can kind of see he's slumped over. He's holding his head up with his hand, kind of showing that he's tired. So your body language goes a long ways in showing that you're actively listening. You want to also avoid any interruptions. So silence your cell phone. Don't answer any emails during it. This shows that you're fully present and engaged in the conversation. And you want to ask open-ended questions. When you ask open-ended questions, it shows that you care about what they're saying and it invites them to elaborate on the topic. And then finally, you also want to pay attention to their nonverbal cues as well and reflect on what was said. The next key principle of communication is clarity. So as future leaders, we want to be clear and concise, and the 3 C's of communication include being clear, concise, and consistent. So when we regularly apply these 3 rules, we'll be able to enhance our communication skills and avoid any misunderstandings or misinterpretations of what we're trying to say. Another key principle of effective communication is transparency. When you create trust, it can go a long way in breaking down communication barriers. It involves openly and honestly sharing information with the team about the current goals, challenges, and opportunities, and you want to make sure you share both the good and the bad. When you openly speak with your team, it can build trust and empower employees to feel like they can share their own ideas and solutions to problems. And without transparency or trust, communication and morale will suffer. So the last key principle of effective communication that I'd like to touch on today is feedback and allowing for open dialogue. So as future leaders, we want to encourage 2-way communications, and it's going to be our responsibility to give effective feedback. To do this, we want to be clear and constructive, focus on behaviors rather than characteristics of a person, and balance negative comments with positive ones. And if you want to become an even better leader, it's just as important to receive feedback from our employees or subordinates. So this will promote growth and learning. So this was just another quote that I found that I liked, and it says, "You cannot become a great leader without being a great communicator." So thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you're able to use these 4 principles to help enhance your communication skills as future leaders. And here are my references. Thank you.